America's Son, The Early Life of John F. Kennedy, Jr. John F. Kennedy, Jr. was born on November 25, 1960. He became a symbol of hope for the future. His father, John F. Kennedy, was the President of the United States. His mother, Jacqueline Kennedy, was a style icon. John, as he was affectionately known, captivated the nation. He was only 3 years old when his father was assassinated. The image of young John saluting his father's coffin is forever etched in American memory. Despite the tragedy, John Jr. grew up with a sense of normalcy. His mother, Jacqueline, shielded him and his sister, Caroline, from the public eye as much as possible. They traveled the world, experiencing different cultures. John Jr. attended private schools, both in Washington, D.C. and in New York City. He developed a passion for learning and a love for the outdoors. His charisma and charm were evident from a young age. Balancing act education and the public eye. John F. Kennedy Jr. attended Brown University. He studied history and graduated in 1983. He continued his education at Columbia University Law School. Despite his privileged upbringing, John Jr. was determined to forge his own path. He interned at the New York City District Attorney's Office. He passed the bar exam on his third attempt. Throughout his 20s, John Jr. remained a constant presence in the media. He dated actresses and models. He was constantly pursued by photographers. John Jr. used his platform to advocate for causes he believed in. He spoke out against gun violence. He championed the rights of people with disabilities. A new chapter: JFK Jr. and the world of law. After graduating from law school, John Jr. worked as a prosecutor. He found the work rewarding. However, he felt drawn to other pursuits. John Jr. had always been interested in journalism. He admired his mother's work as a book editor. He decided to combine his passion for politics with his love of media. In 1995, John Jr. founded George magazine. This glossy publication aimed to make politics accessible to a wider audience. It featured interviews with politicians and celebrities. It covered important social issues. George magazine was an instant success. It challenged the traditional boundaries of political journalism. John Jr.'s vision was to create a magazine that was both informative and entertaining. Section 4. George Magazine, a political statement. George Magazine was more than just a publication. It was a reflection of John F. Kennedy Jr.'s personality and beliefs. He wanted to engage young people in the political process. The magazine covered a wide range of topics. John Jr. interviewed prominent figures like Fidel Castro and Bill Gates. He wasn't afraid to tackle controversial issues like campaign finance reform. John Jr.'s editorial style was a breath of fresh air. He combined humor and intelligence. He wasn't afraid to be self-deprecating. He wanted to make politics less intimidating and more relatable. George magazine pushed the boundaries of traditional journalism. It featured photo spreads of politicians in unusual settings. John Jr. even posed nude for one issue to make a statement about body image. Section 5. Gone Too Soon. The Legacy of John F. Kennedy Jr. On July 16, 1999, tragedy struck. John F. Kennedy Jr., his wife Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, and her sister Lauren Bessette died in a plane crash. John Jr. was piloting the plane. They were on their way to a family wedding in Martha's Vineyard. The nation mourned the loss of America's prince. John Jr.'s death was a stark reminder of the fragility of life. It also sparked a debate about the relentless pressure faced by public figures. John F. Kennedy Jr.'s legacy is complex. He was born into privilege but strived to create his own identity. He was a passionate advocate for social justice. He used his platform to make a difference. John Jr. will be remembered for his charisma, his intelligence, and his commitment to public service. He left behind a legacy of hope and inspiration. He reminded us that even in the face of tragedy, it is possible to live a life filled with purpose and meaning.